Summit third grade artist. As you can see, artists from all over the world create Gyotaku prints. And we are going to begin our own fish prints today, but rather than using authentic fish, we are going to be using molds of a fish or a copy of a fish made out of rubber. But it does show all of the details because they used a fish to make the mold. And so in our case, we are going to have our fish safely inside of a tray to make sure that we don't get ink all over the place. And then we are going to be picking up that beautiful print paper that we had made using warm colors and cool colors. I'm going to set that aside for now because I have to begin to prepare my ink. And there's two areas on this ink area. There's ink, that's the extra ink, and then the area that we are going to be spreading the ink out to make sure we have the right amount on our brayer. And the way that we know we have the correct amount of ink is it makes tiny little waves going across the brayer. The brayer is a roller that we use to print with. So I'm going to spread that out. Then I'm going to get my fish. And at this time I should have everything at my table. I should have a placemat underneath this area, and I should have my beautiful paper that I printed. And I'm simply going to take my brayer and make sure that I have ink, printing ink, over the entire fish. This is a real critical step because if you think about it, if we don't have enough ink on all of those areas, we won't be able to see those details. Now I'm taking my paper that I've made with watercolors, and if you notice, I'm holding it really tight with my left hand as I rub one half of the fish with my right hand, and I'm rubbing it from the center down. So I'm taking my hand and I'm starting in the center and I'm going across it. Now I'm holding it with my right hand. If you notice, the reason why I'm holding it is so that I don't let loose and I won't see the details of the scales on the fish because they'll disappear because it's moving as I rub it. So this part is very important. In fact, my fingers are turning red as I hold it. Now I'm doing a step called peeking. I want to peek or look underneath each of the corners of my paper to make sure that it's printed. If it hasn't printed, I'm needing to rub it again. Oh, it looks like mine is fine. I'm going to look over in the final fourth corner, and underneath it looks like the fish was showing. So now I'm going to do something called peeling the print. And as I peel the print off carefully, you can see that my print is now printed. And then I will begin my other colors of paper. So we each had a cool color paper and a warm color paper. I'll apply more ink in between each of these so I have enough ink on my paper to print my next fish. And you can choose any of the other fish to print on your next piece of paper. So here are all the steps for printing Gyotaku. I will put out a placemat on my table first. I'll pick up a tray with a fish and bring it over to my placemat. I will spread ink on my ink plate, and then I will apply ink to the fish and rub paper on top of the fish until I have a perfect print. Enjoy.